What's going on, guys, and welcome to the first episode of Pastime Adventures, a series where I pick out an old game and I play through it with you guys and do commentary and teach you history on all the series that I choose to play through and all that stuff. First on our list is Metroid for the NES. Now let's get straight into it. Actually, there are two options here. We can just press start and that'll give us a fresh new game, or we can go into continue. And the continue section is basically a screen where you input a password to start up where you left off, and basically that's how this game saves. But also, you can put in some special codes and get little effects, like you can put in a code for God mode, so you get all your power-ups like right away, which is basically just cheating. Or you can put in the code that I'm about to do and start off without your suit, which is basically just an aesthetic difference, but it's just a fun little thing for the playthrough. Alright, now here we are. The first thing we have to do in any Metroid playthrough is pick up the morph ball, which is just to the left, which will allow us to get through little one-high gaps like you can see this there. So basically we just go up to this thing, and there we go. Easiest power-up to get in the whole game. Now, the location we're in is called Brinstar, I believe. I don't know a whole lot about this game. I didn't read up about it before playing. This is just a game I used to play as a kid and never got around to finishing, so I thought I'd pick it up again. And I know just some Metroid lore and history and stuff like that. And I know these blocks here, the cracked ones, can be bombed through, but that's another power-up that we don't have yet. These enemies here are quite annoying. You'll find different variations of them in all different spots around the world, and basically they'll swoop down at you and they only come back up after attacking you if you jump like that. And these ones take 4 hits. Yeah. There we go. And they give you 5 to 15 health, I believe, I forget. Now, our first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go get the long beam, because basically, as you can see, when we shoot, it doesn't go out very far, and that's not what we want. So basically, we have to head up to a room which is in this vertical corridor, but it's through a locked door, and the door is unlocked with missiles, which we need to get in another area, so that's where we're going to head first. So our first power-up that we're going to try and get is the long beam, but to get that we need missiles, so we're just going to head up here and try and find the gold area, which is on the right, I believe. Should be through just a little narrow passage. Yep, this is it. Boing boing. And I believe the missiles are at the bottom of the shaft. Oh, that was lucky. And at the end of this room, actually, I should explain how Metroid works. It's divided into like 3 or 4 different areas. I think there's Brinstar, Norfair, and Torian, and some other place that I forget the name of. And to get to those different areas, it requires you to go down elevators, and that's how you like get around in the world. And I forget where I was going with that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, at the end of this shaft here is the elevator to Norfair, which is the place where you need to beat one of the bosses and just progress in the game, but we're not ready for that, so we're just going to head back. And since we have missiles now, enemies will now drop missiles, as you can see, which is good, but it makes it a bit more of a pain if you want to just get health instead of missiles. And our current health capacity is 99, and our current missile capacity is 5, yeah. so we're just about full of everything, which is what we want. And there are energy tanks in the game where they expand your maximum health by 100 and they give you a full refill, so think of it like a heart container basically. I'm just gonna try and get full health. It doesn't really matter. I mean, once you get your first energy tank, there's no real danger of dying if you're just careful enough. Although that being said, you can get into some pretty sticky situations because later on in the game, enemies tend to kind of swarm you a bit, which can be quite a hassle. Now, if you've been watching, and obviously you have, there is these little flying weird car fish things. Everyone thinks they look like something different, like these over here, and they can't be killed. Actually, that is a lie. Some can be killed in different parts of the game with different weapons, but at the moment we can't kill them and they just get in the way. Although later on we will pick up a power-up, which is a freeze ray, just that freezes your enemies, and they are able to be used as platforms. So they're quite handy once you get the freeze ray. This is not where I want to go. Oh, where am I? Okay. Did I go past where I needed to be? I'm not very familiar with this game. This might be the area here. Yep, this is the one. This is where we get the long beam, which will make killing enemies a lot easier. Got the iconic Zelda music, not Zelda, Metroid music going on back there. I was just watching a Zelda Let's Play, so I think I got it on my brain a bit. I'll just go by these enemies anyway. And that opened the door, as you can see, which we didn't bother taking a look at before because I know you can't get through there, but if you went up here before, you wouldn't have been able to get through without the missiles. And every power-up in the game, I think, is placed upon a statue like this, which is really creepy, but looks really awesome. So this is the long beam. Alrighty. That's kind of fun. Alright, there we go. As you can see, our shot goes all the way across the screen. And if you've been paying attention, you'll have seen some enemies that have a different color palette, like this one, to the regular enemies. And I believe they just take double the shots, like these spiky guys, which are called... I have no idea what they're called, actually. Usually takes 2 shots, but when they're a different color palette, which is usually purple, they take 4, and those flying things that swoop down on you take 8, I believe, instead of the standard 4. Now, I'm just gonna see what was in this door up here. I don't know if that's where I come from when I first start the game. But if this is nothing of interest, then oh, I know what this is. This is... Nah, I'm not gonna waste your time. This is where you need to go for the end of the game. And basically, to beat the game and get to the final boss, you need to kill the 2 bosses that are in Norfair and the other place. And once you beat them, you shoot the statues that are in that room we just left, which I didn't show you the statues, but they were further ahead. And once you shoot the statues, a drawbridge appears, and then you can go on to face the final boss, which is Mother Brain. Alright, so we're just going back into the gold area to now get our next power-up, which shall be the bombs. And bombs work by going into your morph pool, like that, and then just pressing B, and they lay a bomb down, and they are useful for killing enemies that are on the ground, because you can't shoot downwards in this game. And not to mention, there's a bunch of secret passages in this game, which I don't know where, like, probably half the stuff is. But like, you can blow holes in walls and stuff like that. Bombs are just very useful overall. And I think I remember playing as a kid and bombing in this room here. Or in one of these passages anyway. and there just being a massive trap, so I gotta watch out for that if we ever explore in here, which we might have to. And I think there's one that's a trap and one is the ice beam. So I'd prefer just get the ice beam one instead of the trap, because I remember the trap being just hard to get out of and you can die by getting hit by enemies and whatever. Yeah, see, there's two identical corridors, like there was one like this just before. One of them's a trap and one has the ice beam under it. And I believe there is our first energy tank up ahead. Come on. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Alright. So that's our first energy tank, and we have a maximum capacity of 200 now. Or, oops. 299. I mean, 199. And these swoopy things are very annoying. And I'm stuck in lava! Alright, there's no point really killing enemies. I mean, unless you need health, there's no point just killing everything you see, even though you have the impulse to. And, there's 2 beam upgrades in this game, I believe, apart from the long beam, which we just got. And, that will be the freeze beam, like the ice beam, which we're gonna go get soon after the bombs, and the wave beam, which basically doubles the power, but doesn't freeze them or anything. And, since there's no point always killing enemies, and, basically, if they can't hurt you, that's the main difference. So, a lot of people opt out for the wave beam because it kills them faster, but a freeze beam lets you freeze them with one shot and then just bypass them. Which, unless you need health, is just as good as killing them, in my opinion, and it only takes one shot. So, I may pick up the wave beam for a boss fight, maybe not. But apart from that, I'll just be using the ice beam for the rest of this playthrough. And I believe in here are the bombs. Oh. Yep, that's them. And there's a lot of different places in this game that look similar to this, like upgrade rooms, and you can often go through here and bomb through the wall, and I'm not sure... No, it doesn't look like you can in that one, but there's a lot of different places. Basically, if it looks like a dead end in this game, it probably isn't, and you just gotta figure out a way to get through. Alright, so that's nice, we got the bombs. Works like that, it's good fun. Okay. And I believe we need to get one more thing before heading over to North Air, which is where we'll start our main adventure for getting stuff and killing the first boss, basically. As well as collecting missile tanks and energy tanks along the way. It's all about exploration and upgrading your stuff. I believe up ahead is... Yep. Just a bunch of these enemies, and like I said, you can freeze them later on with the upgrade and use them as platforms and get to an area that you wouldn't have normally been able to get to before. Which is always good fun. There's a lot of backtracking in the game, but it's fun because you run into places where you can't get, and then you get an upgrade and you realize that you can use that to progress further. So it's just really satisfying if something is like out of your reach. You might have to be able to like backtrack and get it later. I don't know. I just like that element in games, which is missing a fair bit these days. But nothing stops you from going back and playing the old ones. Now, a lot of people get really scared of falling in the lava, but especially once you've gotten the upgraded suit, or no suit in my case because I entered the code. Once you get that upgrade, it really doesn't become much of an issue, and is often smarter in my opinion than just getting swarmed by enemies that take like 10, 20, 30 health. So, like, people get afraid of the lava, but they just expect it to do a lot more damage than it does. So if I'm in lava and not freaking out, then you know why. And I believe we might as well just try this one first, because it's the first one on our way back to try and get that ice beam. Hopefully this isn't the trap room. Alright, see that? And I think we're okay. I don't think this is the trap. I think the trap just makes you fall straight down. So I think the ice beam should be down below a bit. And then we'll make our way to Norfair. And that's when things start getting really out of hand with enemies. That's when the real challenge starts. I mean, this might look rather easy, but believe me, this is not an easy game. Well, it might be to some people, but to most this would be considered hard. But Norfair is where things start getting real. And we need one more missile. Come on. Give me the missile. God damn it, I hate these little things. That's not what I wanted. No. Ah, this is the bottom. So all that's down here is the ice beam, apparently. And we'll just go in and out of the room to reset the spawns. There we go. Hopefully the door stays, like... Hopefully it's registered that I've already shot it 4 times. Nah, it looks like you have to do it all at once, so I'm just gonna grind up 5 missiles. Later on in the game, running out of like missile ammunition isn't a big deal. I mean, it never really happens, that's what I'm trying to get at. But when you only have a capacity of 5, things can be a bit tight. Alright, just one more. Give me that missile, damn it. Gotta get to Norfair. One thing about this game you come to notice is just the sheer scale of it. I mean, for an NES game, and for any game in general, this is massive. There's just tons of rooms and stuff. I mean, you could spend days exploring it. At least that's how I remember it as a kid. But I do know for a fact that it is massive. Alright, there we go. Alright, hopefully this is the ice beam. Alright, sweet. There's a technique you can do with bombs called bomb jumping. I think it's called that. Where you do this, and then you lay a bomb there, and then you do some stuff like... I don't know if I can do it. I think it might be intricate. I'll try and show you later. Basically, you lay a bomb in midair, and then you hop out of your morph ball. And then it boosts you higher than you'd normally be able to get. And there's a power-up in the game called like high jump boots that allows you to jump much higher than you normally would. But with bomb jumping, sometimes you can bypass areas where you'd normally need that and just go ahead and enter them anyway. Which is kind of exploiting something that they didn't intend, but they also do intend for you to do little bomb jumps anyway, so I mean, why not just do what you can instead of like wasting a bunch of time. I mean, we'll get the high jump boots anyway, but I mean, if we can get something without needing to go get them first, and we can just bomb jump, then we should probably just take advantage of that and not feel too bad about it. Alright, well I know this one's the trap now. Bloop. Bloop. Ow, come on. Alright, we're now heading back into the gold shaft area. I gotta stop calling it shaft. The gold vertical corridor area, where we first were. And first got our missiles. Ow. And proceeding to Norfair. And as you can see, freeze beam works pretty nicely. You can stand on enemies and stuff, they don't hurt you. You can do that. Really satisfying. Boop. Yeah. These little things that come out of pots and fly directly towards you, there's different variations of them throughout the game, and they just get a lot more annoying, and they're already quite annoying. As in, like, they just keep spawning until, like, if there's already one on the screen, they won't spawn, so that's why freezing them is good. Like, if there's already one instance of them from that pot on screen, they will not spawn, so freezing them is good. And they'll just keep spawning unless they're frozen or have dropped a power up. But they'll just keep on spawning once you grab that power up. So they're rather relentless, actually. And I believe this is the elevator to Norfair. Hopefully it's Norfair and not just something else, because I'm not 100% with the names. But we'll check it out anyway. Yep, this is it. Bubbly area. Norfair. Massive, massive place full of tough enemies. And we have been recording for quite some time, so I think this is where we'll leave this episode. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Next time we shall get some cool power-ups and kill some more bad guys in 8-bit glory. Catch you next time.